Hi, this is Dr. John Gracel, and this is our video on sustainability, a synoptic presentation on the importance of this question in almost all of international development activities. Now, what is sustainability? There are different concepts of it. Some people think about things are very static, things maintain themselves as they are. Others think about it in terms of things renew themselves. Uh, Others think about it in terms of things just endure. And the last way is things adapt. But the idea behind sustainability is once something exists and it's positive, it keeps going. It doesn't end, and certainly it doesn't have built into it its own unwanted demise. Uh, there are many types of sustainability, and there's where a lot of confusion comes. We talk about sustainability of our environment. We have enough resources. Are our forests being depleted? Are we losing our air? Can we renew our clean water? There's financial sustainability. Is the activity capable of carrying itself forward when it stops being supported by philanthropic funds? Can we make it profitable so it can keep going? Or if it's philanthropic, can we institutionalize it through philanthropy, such as by tithing in the community? Or is it perpetually part of a government budget? Then there's social sustainability. We have to be concerned when we intervene. Are we keeping the group side solidarity or losing the solidarity? Are we splitting the family? Are we perhaps damaging groups of cohorts that normally work together? Are we keeping together the belief community? And there's, of course, political sustainability. Sometimes you do things that actually create political instability. And there's also what I call spiritual sustainability, because spirituality, the belief in some higher purpose, which is the major motivation, we discussed this for people in many cases acting, and certainly acting when it requires sacrifice and getting a sense of satisfaction for what they're doing. And can you maintain their understanding of the purpose and conviction that is driving them, even when they face difficulties. Now, the reason this is, of course, very important, it's a big buzzword, but amazingly is for something that's so seemingly important, it's so repetitively ignored in so many development activities, because activities and programs tend to have very limited lifespans, and sustainability seems to be about the long term. And it's even more serious when you look at something as a very profound study that was done by the National Science Foundation almost 10 years ago, called Our Common Journey, that basically dealt with this question of sustainability and said, we basically don't really know how to create sustainable systems. And we have about 40 years to figure out how to actually do it, or it's going to be too late. So we really have to figure out how we get sustainability as an integral part of what are otherwise very limited activities. Now, I'll tell you how initially you do and you don't. The first thing is you don't do what we do so often, which is called pilot projects. People love to do pilot projects to demonstrate something, but in the process, they put all sorts of things into the project that never can occur again. They bring in all sorts of outside experts, give extra money, use special influence. The project may work, but it can't be replicated because you can't do that 100 and 1,000 times over. There's a difference between a pilot and a prototype. When you build a prototype, whether it's of a machine or an activity, you're building a miniature version of something that you know you can scale up. So you keep all the pieces and parts in the relationships that you are confident are scalable. You don't play around by jerry-rigging it with solutions that you know cannot be made bigger. And therefore, every activity should actually be approached as a prototype. And then, if the prototype is successful, it should not be funded again unless it can then be funded in a form that begins to get it on the way to actually production on scale equal to what is the need. Now, how do you know you're doing it sustainably? while you're doing this prototype, well, you've got to set yourself objectives. You have to have indicators, but these are not themselves static. These are part of what is constant learning. You have to apply, learn, adapt, innovate, applicate, reflect again on what's happening, learn it, readapt it, innovate. You have to go through this virtuous cycle over and over again, but always have sustainability, even if it's in a changing form, as a key ingredient for deciding what you are doing and what you are going to do next. And what I would say without any hesitation is if somebody does not address in a meaningful fashion the degree to which sustainability is present or is going to be addressed, then it might be best not even to begin the activity. Because in fact, much of the lack of success of international development can be traced to the fact that so many interesting things have been done, so many exciting things have been done, but they haven't been done in ways that are sustainable, and they haven't been done in ways that then can be scaled up to actually meet the demand necessary. And this is not to confuse sustainability with inflexibility. Because, as we said, one of the best ways to have sustainable projects is to have a constant process of adaptation and innovation and application and reflection as an ongoing form. And it's critical as part of that application, innovation, reflection, adaptation, to look at the issue of sustainability from all its aspects. Even if you're doing an environmental project, you better look at the financial, the social, the spiritual. Even if you're doing a social project, you better look at it in terms of its sustainability, environmentally, financially, spiritually. And even if you're doing a spiritual project, trying to make people understand better who they are and what they're capable, you better say, but am I meeting their material needs in terms of financial sustainability? Am I going at it in a way that reinforces or really is incorporated and reflects the group and the community's spiritual needs, not only the individual? And does it really work in a way that it's a positive factor in its larger environment, which it shares with other groups? So don't leave sustainability out. It is absolutely necessary. But unfortunately, it is almost absent in a true fashion in most very limited and specific development projects. And this is what has to be addressed now. And the way to address it is to reject those that don't deal with it and avoid those that deal with it in a way that in fact is not sustainable, through special pilot activities that in fact cannot develop prototypes, that cannot bring things up to scale.